What is up, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world? This is another edition of Fan Chats Live. We are breaking down the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy cow, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's a lot to talk about here.
Yes.
A lot to talk about. So, guys, the way this is going to go down, I know you're trickling in. We're going to wait just a minute before we get into the official breakdown.
Yep.
I'm, of course, Josh. This is executive producer Al Schuler. We're here in Chicago. Star Wars celebration. We did a reaction video. It's pretty cool. Just a couple minutes of our first taking away of what it was like. So cool.
Pumped. Yeah.
A lot of questions. Then we came back here and we broke it down. We went frame by frame.
Yes.
We looked at this stuff. And so we're going to do our breakdown with you guys first, okay?
Yeah.
And then we're going to get into Q&A. So we're going to go for about an hour here. I'm pretty excited. Let me check out the chat, see how many crazy Star Wars fans are in here so far.
Cool.
What's up, everybody? We see you coming in here. Hey. So, yes, this is going to be, this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to get right into here. Save your questions until after we get through the breakdown, okay? Norn Rad's freaking out. Yeah. We're freaking out as well, man. This is pretty cool. I know, there's a lot to talk about, guys. Save the questions. Give us like 15 minutes. We're going to do this breakdown. We're going to get into this, okay? So let me get this queued up. And we won't be able to see chat while we're doing the breakdown, guys. I do apologize about that, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as it were. So here we go. Let's get this queued up here. And we will transition. Full screen that, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go, guys.
Let's
Breaking
do
it
it
down with you guys, okay? So, out of breath again.
Yep.
Very reminiscent of
Force Awakens.
Yes.
And
Last Jedi. Last
Yeah,
Jedi starts
true.
with
That's very true, yeah.
out of breath and then the fist.
I'm thinking,
Okay.
I was thinking of Finn from the Force Awakens.
Yes,
But yeah, that was
you're
episode,
right.
yeah.
You're right. Okay, so here's the thing right away here, guys. We're going to stop it right here. So the big question here, and this is what a lot of people were hitting us up about this. You know, a lot of the Raylos are really excited. Here's the thing. A lot of people are saying here that this is not them coming to blows. This is not a conflict. This is not him coming to attack her. This is something else, okay? And we're going to touch on some of the things that after we broke it down, because our first reactions from the floor were like, no, they're going to be lightsaber dueling, you know, it's going to be crazy. But, you know, now we're taking a little bit more of a careful eye. Going to show you a couple things here, okay? So we've passed down all we know. Now, Al and I are actually a little conflicted as far as who is he talking here. The obvious choice is Rey, which probably it's Rey, but he could also be talking to Ben Solo, depending on how this all works. And we'll get into that in just a second. But pass down all we know. 1,000 generations now live in you. Live in you now. So
Yes.
dope, dude.
Oh, my God.
And then this
moment.
Yes, this is the moment right here. We're going to pause it here. Okay. Did you see
Right
that?
there.
Did you guys just see that? That's a smile.
Yeah.
That's a raise of the lips.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty much undeniable to me. So here we go again. He's coming.
Look at right there.
Right here.
there.
Yeah, it's a coy smile. And they might have even cut before she goes full smile there.
Yeah, I think so.
And something that other people mentioned online as well was, why isn't he shooting at her
Right.
if he's coming to get her?
Good question.
Okay, let's keep going. Every generation has a legend. Now, this blew everybody away.
Oh, yeah.
This blew everybody away, man. And it's
The
such a cool
crowd
shot.
lost it.
Yeah, so you've got like this tracking shot here. You can hear it start to build into the TIE fighter scream. This is the new ship. She looks pretty fierce there, but why did she turn her back?
She turns and looks.
That's another thing. And then she looks, she starts running.
No shots.
No shots. She's jumping here.
Oh, man.
And it looks like what we think's going to happen right then and there is she's going to grab onto the ship and stay there. Now, why does she have the saber? Couple of things. I mean, she could be there defensively, trying to deflect whatever's going to be coming after him.
True.
They could be about to go into battle.
Yep.
Or something like that. Now, we can't see chat right now, guys, but I'm sure you're going crazy in the chat. Let us know what you think about that.
Yeah.
I'm really on the side of that's not a conflict.
No, I that was the first, honestly, that was my first thought when I saw it. I really thought, I was like, no, that's a swerve.
Yeah.
They're teaming up.
They're teaming up again. That is likely to happen again. Now, this right here, we can't really place where this planet is at all. This could be Yavin. This could be Yavin 4. The fog really throws it off. And we think this is either an A-Wing or something very similar to an A-Wing. Now, here's an interesting shot. Just kind of pause it at a good spot here. We can't really tell here if like, who is he fighting here?
Right.
Now, at first we were like, maybe this is Knights of Ren.
Right. That's what I thought at first.
And it
but
looks like it, but then again, when you pull back, why is he with the troopers?
Correct.
Another interesting thing, no helmet here. We're going to get to the helmet shot in just a second because there's some really weird, interesting things going on in that helmet shot. But I'm going to track back on this. Now, this is just so badass.
Dude, epic.
They keep finding awesome ways to use this crossguard.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like putting it into the shoulder, slamming homie down. Like,
yes.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna do that to you guys later with the actual sabers. It's gonna be dope, or I'm gonna hurt myself. We'll see. Okay, so here's the shot of them building the helmet. What is going on here, guys? Whose hands are these?
Right.
Who's got these hairy hands in the Empire? And a lot of people noticed that this doesn't even look like it's Imperial anything behind them.
No, it's really crude looking.
Yeah, it's crude. Exactly. It's crude. It's run down.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Why is the mask being repaired? And if it is being repaired, not with the Empire, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas?
No, not in this one. I was completely like, whoa, that's different.
So let's look. Let's take it again, frame by frame here. Whoa, actually, let's see something here. Right at the end here, I'll try to stop it. Who's this guy firing at here? Because you can see him pop in a frame.
Oh, I see
an
it.
Axe there. There's an axe.
So again,
Can't
those
really
look
see.
like, to me though, crude weapons.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we saw, what was rumored to be Knights of Ren weapons. And I know we're looking at Kylo without the mask, so maybe that scene's later on in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, they reversed it. And then
the question I had asked Josh was, do you think they would spoil something that early? But I mean, they don't really give us enough context to know exactly what we're looking at.
Right.
But that kind of looks like the Knights of Ren to me.
It does.
And I mean, could it be maybe the Knights of Ren and the Red Troopers facing off against Kylo and the White Troopers? Maybe something like that.
Yeah, it could definitely be something like that. And these hairy hands, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
Right.
they're not Chewbacca
No.
because it's the bear skin there, and it almost looks like, man, it's just really hard to place, man. But there's something weird going on there. It doesn't look like it's with the Empire.
Right.
This right here, we can't really tell what planet this is on. We think this is on their big adventure here. Now, this shot right here is like a Chewie we're home moment.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
And Billy D was
He
so
stole.
cool.
He stole the panel. I
He
thought.
stole the panel. Absolutely stole the panel.
He was there. I think his job was to charm the audience, to give everybody the feels, and I think he succeeded with that.
Dude, this shot
It
gave
was
me
amazing.
the feels, man.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Like he's loving it. Good to see him and Chewbacca flying the Falcon.
Oh yeah.
And JJ nails these kind of shots. The shots we've seen in Star Wars
Facts.
a million times, but just from like a little bit of a different angle, just a little bit of extra oomph. And Kathy said this thing during by the way, guys, there's this really weird moment in the panel where Stephen Colbert was asking who's the evilest person or something like that.
Oh,
And he just said Kathy.
Right.
He just said Kathy.
I was like, oh.
And then and then there was this moment, the crowd like reacted to it, and JJ was like, "Oh, did I just screw up there?"
Right.
But it was kind of funny. It was like this Freudian slip, like the Duff Kennedy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But she had said something about how nobody cares more than JJ when it comes to this sort of stuff, and you get that.
You
vibe
can tell.
with him.
You can absolutely
definitely
tell.
get this vibe. The saga comes to an end. Now, this shot we can't particularly place. I mean, this is either Jakku or maybe even Tatooine if we go back. Visually, it's reminding me a lot of pod racing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, really nothing that we can really see. And this right here, this was giving us vibes of...
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. Jabba's palace and, the yachts and the rescue on the yachts. So at least visually reminding me a lot of that. There's that ship. It's either that A-Wing or that could be the ship of the new character who's
Could be.
maybe Lando's daughter.
Yes.
We didn't get a clear-cut answer on that, but I think they would have just said no.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That medal, correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in chat, guys. That's the medal that Luke gets for destroying the Death Star, I believe. And this is the medal that Chewie never got. This shot right here, you can almost tell, but not really. But I think this is something added digitally. This is what they did with Leia. This is a little tease of what we're gonna get, and it hits you in the feels, and it looks great.
Yes.
Okay, now this is pretty much what it's all about. This is where the entire Star Wars fandom was like, all right, I'm on board for this. You know what I mean? No matter how mad or whatever you were about The Last Jedi, this right here, the end of this trailer, got you hook, line, and sinker. So we got the crew. This is the downed Death Star.
Right.
Okay, this is the
Right.
downed Death Star. Now, we don't know exactly what Rey is holding. This is a good shot of it right here. It looks to be some kind of a bag, possibly of some significance. We can't really tell. You know what I mean? There's really nothing to go off of there. Al, you were saying you think it could be mechanical.
Yeah, I just looked at it and from first glance, I thought it may be some kind of old tech, something maybe that's a part of the old Death Star, something like that, perhaps, or something that they're taking to that crashed Death Star site.
Yeah, they're either retrieving. I believe they're retrieving something. They're looking for something, and it could be we're thinking right now hologram of Palpatine, maybe a Sentinel droid of Palpatine.
Right.
We don't really think Palpatine's alive, but it's so cool that he's going to play a role in this movie.
Yes.
And this is no one's ever really gone, and then you get the Palpatine.
Then you
laugh.
get this.
That's so intentional. No one's ever really gone, and then this laugh, man.
Oh man.
They
That
nailed
moment when in the trailer, that moment, that was when I want to say that was the craziest pop.
Yeah.
But I think the craziest pop was what happened right after the trailer. That
when Ian McDiarmid came out.
Yes.
And was like, roll it again.
Oh man.
Amazing. Like honestly, that's a highlight.
Yeah, that was
that's
to me that was the moment of the week for me.
Yeah, dude.
That was the moment of the week for me.
That was crazy. And everyone was very, very excited about that. Obviously, there's a lot of implications to what this means. What's really cool is if you guys have been watching the channel for some time, you'll know that this has actually been sort of something I've spoken about with regards to the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
What could it mean? How could Palpatine being in Episode 9 have something to do with the Skywalker saga? What does that mean? I've always believed that something to do with the way Palpatine created Anakin. If they bring that into canon, if they make that actually canon, perhaps that same thing is something that they did to Rey. That Rey in some way could be an extension of that, perhaps a different version of that, something else that's going on there right now. But guys, that is the breakdown. But we're gonna get into the nitty gritty here. Please, let's go into Q&A. Always, if you got some super chats, we will answer every single super chat that comes in. Super chats support the channel. Appreciate it if you do that. If you don't have any loot, don't even worry about it. Just drop your questions into the chat. I'll get to as many of them as I can.
And smash that like.
Yeah, and smash that like button if you could. It's good for the stream. Really will help us out. Okay, so let's get in here. Notice how when the title is revealed, Kylo's theme plays, referring to him as being the Skywalker that rises, Jess Van V. Okay, did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Me neither. You should be doing YouTube, Jess.
Yeah.
Also, we did speak about this, though. I do believe that the rise of Skywalker is a direct reference to Ben Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that at the end of the day, it's like kind of step up, dude.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, kill the Ranger. Kill the boy Jon Snow. This repeated thing in mythology. You have to let that version of you die and become the person you were meant to be.
Right, right.
Skywalker's a legacy.
And if you think about it from the aspect of maybe that was a little bit of foreshadowing in The Last Jedi, I mean, Kylo did make the statement, it's time to let old things die.
Yes.
So maybe that's a part of his evolution that he realizes in this movie.
Yeah, I would say so. And there's a lot to be when you get into the head of that character and you start to think about it, particularly when it comes to Snoke and the influence that Snoke has had on him. It gets really interesting. What does he even think now?
Right.
Now that Snoke's out of the picture.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is he struggling with that lack of vision? You know what I mean? That lack of evil? Is he like soft, but then he's in this arena where he has to be hard because they're coming at him, and Hux is trying to betray him and all these things. Very, very interesting. But overall, I think we do agree that he is what the Skywalker is referring to. Outside chance here too. We talked about this. Have you guys heard? Let me know in chat. Have you heard about the rumor that C-3PO and possibly C-3PO's memories are going to be the MacGuffin in Star Wars Episode 9? And so if that is the case, and let me know in chat if you've heard of that. I know many of the subscribers have, but we got some new peeps in here, so you never know. If that is indeed the case, could the rise of Skywalker be referring to the actual memories, the rise of Anakin? What do you think about that?
It very well could be. I mean, maybe that's a tie-in to the C-3PO novel that's coming out. Maybe they're going to kind of leave some breadcrumbs in that. But no, definitely, it could certainly tie back or harken back to Anakin. That's a dang good possibility.
I've thought about that a lot, and I think that it could be cool for Kylo to see. Like, what if the MacGuffin is as simple as seeing what Anakin was really like, before the fall.
Right,
and
right.
also his love for Padme.
Yes.
You know what I
yes.
mean? Because in some ways, I think that, they have these feelings towards each other, and Kylo probably rejects those feelings for different reasons than the Jedi reject, feelings.
Right.
He thinks of it as weakness and all these different things. And again, the thing that's cool about the Anakin character, especially when he's younger and on his way up, he is not following the Jedi code.
Right.
You know what I mean? He breaks the code for love. And essentially the idea there, and I believe this is something that would resonate with Kylo because there's all these restrictions. His life is restricted, from the time he enters training with Luke, beyond that to when he becomes the apprentice of Snoke and the leader of the Knights of Ren. A lot of stuff constricting his feelings. What's okay? What isn't okay?
Right.
And now that's all gone. And
Exactly.
if he could, that would resonate with him, I believe, if he looked back and saw that Anakin had those same experiences.
Right.
He might see him as less of just this evil machine that he wants to replicate, and more of like, oh no, he's a person just like me.
Exactly.
This is what he struggled with.
Yeah, and we don't know necessarily if Kylo even has that knowledge of who Anakin was before he turned into Vader in terms of what drove him to it.
That's actually a really good point because Snoke only says that Vader had a moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the question then becomes, how did Rey know that? When Rey goes to Luke, maybe Leia told her or something, because Rey knows that.
Right.
When she comes to Ahch 2, she says, because Luke says that thing about how it was a Jedi that trained Vader, and he's like, and then it was a Jedi that saved him. So she knows the story.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Maybe she did get told by Leia. But we got a super chat coming in here from Bruce Apocalypse. I know I say this all the time, but I love that name, man. Thank you so much. Potential for flashbacks to help connect the saga. Al, what do you think? Flashbacks?
Yeah, I think we're going to get some sort of flashbacks in this movie. I think they're going to tie into kind of those Force visions we saw previously and kind of that same kind of theme. But no, I think they're going to definitely have to do some contextual stuff to kind of bring us back to where we are right now.
And who's the best character, the new character that they've introduced that can do that? It's Rey. Rey's ability, the Force back vision itself is the way you do that. So you don't even have to do traditional flashbacks, even though Ryan did.
Exactly.
He gave us the Kurosawa, the 3 versions of the event sort of thing. Very deep cut if you're a cinema fan. But also, we don't necessarily need to do that. So you can have Rey, through her Force back visions, looking into the past, and I certainly believe that the past is very important. I think it's just written all over this thing. I mean, think about it. The very Palpatine being in there at all.
Right.
That's the beginning. You know what I mean? And so I think that it perfectly makes sense to, if you're going to close it out, you go back to the beginning, you recontextualize things. So I think we're both on board with that. Branch Ranch coming in hot with the super chat. Didn't see 3PO get torn up in the Death Star. Could they be going to the wreckage to recover the memories or hardware that was taken? Ooh, that's great.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would have to think about that. Does he get messed up in the Death Star? I really don't remember. I'll have to look back at that. But, I mean, very well could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, just think about it. When that Death Star fell, there's a lot going on there, right? There's obviously Palpatine. And what's really cool, if you're one of these people that reads the novels, so he meets with the people that everybody thought Snoke was at the beginning of the book, the last Chuck Wendig book.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Gallius Rax.
Yes.
So he meets with Gallius Rax, and he has a conversation with Gallius Rax about, are you ready to become like that most hated man in the galaxy? And it's sort of this weird conversation about the contingency, about Jakku.
Okay.
And so there could be stuff there, maybe messages about the contingency, different things like that. Or there was also, of course, Luke was there. A lot of the Republic was there, and the Rebellion. So you never know. There's a lot that could be there.
Yeah.
But overall, they're going for context. Finorox 10 coming in hot with the super chat. The baby Chewbacca was holding could be Reylos. I'm not sure what.
No.
What's that question mean?
No, so during the panel, they were showing
right.
his the actor. His name slips me right now, but the guy that plays Chewbacca.
Yes.
And he was he actually said during the panel that was
his son. Yeah.
yeah.
That could be the Force child. I mean, look, if the Force child's a real thing and the Force child's in this movie, obviously Chewbacca would be Uncle Chewie. You know what I mean? So there's no reason that wouldn't be the case. But yeah, that's not what that is. That's the homie that does the new guy. Yeah, that's his kid. And that guy was really cool too. If you haven't seen the panel, I highly recommend check out the whole hour panel if you got some time. There is another coming in hot with a $5 super chat. What if when Kylo said he would finish what Vader started, he meant that he plans to kill Palpatine? What do you think about that?
Juicy. I like it. It could very well be, but then that would mean that Kylo kind of knows that Palpatine is still out there or kind of had that knowledge already. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I think it would be a dope idea.
Recontextualizes, let the past die.
Yeah.
It's time to kill old things. The Jedi, the Sith. I mean, could very well. Yeah, he did say that. It could very well be the case. I don't know. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around the idea of Palpatine actually being alive. What I'd really prefer is if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think Rey could be a clone of Palpatine.
Yeah.
And if Rey is indeed a clone of Palpatine,
wow.
Yeah, damn.
Right.
I mean, that's just ridiculous on so many levels. And what would Kylo what if he comes to this realization, then he realizes that she's Palpatine, and then he wants to destroy her? You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of different ways.
All kinds of implications, man.
But
yeah.
I don't think the Palpatine. I don't think Sheev himself from the OG trilogy. I don't think he's alive on that Death Star.
No, I don't think so either.
What's he doing? Is he chilling out, doing Sudokus for 30 years?
Tell me about it, seriously.
I don't think so. But I'm sorry, you were saying.
Oh, no, go ahead. You're good.
No, I was just... That would be very crazy. I mean, I appreciate the question. That's a really cool question. What do you guys think about that? Could Palps be alive? Could that actually be a thing? I don't know. Let's see here. If Palpatine is coming back, et cetera, is Obi-Wan coming back too? Richard Lonsdale. So here's the thing. That's an interesting question. I love this thing that Luke says at the beginning, right? Where he's like, we've passed down everything. Right? And thousands of generations now live in you. Mm-hmm. Could we see an Obi-Wan Force Ghost? Could we see the Force Ghost party in this film? What do you think?
I think so. That was one of the first questions I had when I heard that line was, who's we? I mean, the only person that we've really seen Rey interact with from a training level was Luke.
Yeah.
So if we were to assume that Luke was talking to Rey, then my question would be, well, who's we? Or was this all passed down to her through you or through the Jedi text? If he's talking to Ben or Kylo, then the same question kind of stands for me.
Yeah.
Who's we?
Well, see, the reason, I think part of the reason, because it could go either way, because I believe that Kylo, the Skywalkers themselves, I believe being of the Force has sort of imbued them with a little bit more of like a memory, a little bit more legacy than your average Jedi.
Okay.
And so the fact that Luke says thousands of generations of us now live in you, kind of seems like a Skywalker thing.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, we've always heard this thing and talked about how Rey is a conduit for the light. Mm-hmm. And so it could very, very easily be her as well, but sort of by the same logic, right? Mm-hmm. But I would prefer it to be him talking to Ben and sort of like, if Ben actually, is redeemed, and we got to get to Trev's super chat here real quick before it disappears. I'm sorry, I've got to shift gears here because I don't want this to disappear. Trev, thanks so much for the support, brother. Appreciate you. Palpatine appearance will be at downed Death Star and will be at his essence, that his essence is super strong still there, or holocron. Okay, this is cool. It's the same kind of train of thought that we've been on. Mm-hmm. So, Palpatine appearance at the downed Death Star. Will it be his essence and his super strong? Is it a nexus? Is it a dark side nexus? Or is it a holocron, that kind of thing? We sort of talked about this, but for Trev's sake, what do you think?
I'm thinking more of kind of his essence, or one of those the bots that we were talking about earlier, the hologram.
Those Sentinel droids.
Yeah, the Sentinel droids. There you go. I'm thinking something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely his essence. I think there's going to be a dark side presence there. Maybe that will even kind of play with some people in terms of maybe altering their behavior a little bit, something like that. Maybe that essence starts kind of tempting
that
certain
would be
people that
cool.
are there. I mean,
maybe the clone, Ray,
yeah,
that would be cool. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that, Trev. And I gotta just go right into the next one because we're gonna lose these chats because we're just kind of rambling here a little bit. Okay. There is another, the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Palpatine has a hidden observatory on Jakku. Maybe he has a clone body, or his spirit can transfer to a new body, or he survived Return of the Jedi somehow. Okay, cool. So we get to keep talking about this.
Yes.
Thank you. So in Dark Empire, Palpatine's essence is traded between his clones. So because he's so strong on the dark side, he's able to keep his essence alive, and then he transfers it into these other clones of himself. So he transfers into a younger version of himself. Could that be operating in this film? Would you like that or hate that?
I would be cool with it. As long as it kind of makes sense to further the plot along. That's kind of my bar. I'm cool with the decisions that JJ makes at this point because I feel like what we saw in this trailer, although we didn't get much in terms of plot, that it's given me enough comfort to say, all right, JJ, however you take it, as long as we have a definitive resolution, I'm all in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be down with it.
I would be down with it too, and I actually think that could potentially be, just the same stream of consciousness we've been on. But if it helps to shut that down, if Kylo does, that's finishing what he started.
Exactly.
I mean, it crosses a lot of checks for me. You know what I mean, off of the board.
Definitely.
The Goddess Divine, the super chat coming in hot. Thank you so much. Does this trailer mark the beginning of the fandom healing? Al, take this one, man.
Yes, I think absolutely. I know that Celebration is obviously going to be where everybody's geeking out and loving it. But I think the fact that this trailer, and we talked about this last night, was about reuniting the fandom. Yes. The whole event, the trailer, all of it was kind of JJ and Disney Lucasfilm's way of kind of handing the fandom an olive branch. And so, I think as we get to see more of this movie, I think JJ has found a brilliant way to kind of satisfy that fan servicey aspect of it and give us some really juicy material to kind of dive into, not just for episode 9, but going forward. I think this is going to really set a precedent for Star Wars in terms of ancillary material and everything else, and really reinvigorate everyone and get us back on board.
100% agree. We sort of spoke to this in the breakdown as well. It's just so good, dude.
Yes.
Starting with Luke's voiceover, ending with a Palpatine laugh. I mean,
yes,
it's an easy formula, but yes, this will heal the fandom. And actually, I think it'll recontextualize The Last Jedi. People will like that movie more.
Yeah.
But we got to move on just because these are starting to stack up. Immortal Arts. At Death Star, they show Snoke Plagueis training with young Sidious. Rey is chosen one, and watch The Tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise movie series. Dude, that is a really, really cool idea. We're going to talk about that, but just before this disappear here, Kyle Hurley as well. Did Palpatine figure out how Darth Plagueis manipulated the midichlorians to live longer? And then the Moment Spirit question. I see you there is another. So we're gonna go through all of that right now. Okay. So let's start. What was the first one there? Talking about okay. Let's start with this. Immortal Arts. At the Death Star, they show Snoke, who is Plagueis, training with Sidious, Rey is the chosen one, and watches The Tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. So I don't think that Snoke is Plagueis.
No, I don't think so either.
But that does not mean we will not see Plagueis in this movie. It does not mean we will not see The Tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. I think that could work, particularly if it ties into the next question, which is we're talking about the midichlorians. So if Palpatine figure out how Darth Plagueis manipulated the midichlorians to live longer. Well, he absolutely did. Palpatine lived a pretty long life, even into his old age. He was deteriorating, but he was still alive.
Yeah.
And it's very possible that he could have kept himself alive if he did survive Return of the Jedi. And as far as the midichlorian manipulation goes, where my head is at with this is it goes to, again, him creating life. So messing with the Force in ways that you should not do it.
Right.
So if he did that and it created Anakin, perhaps it created Rey, perhaps it created these other things, and the Force is now trying to correct itself.
Right.
So it's very possible. What do you think? What's your take on the Plagueis? Are we getting some Plagueis in this with Palpatine?
I don't know for sure. I wouldn't be mad if we did, but I think if you start to go into kind of that intricate of details, it kind of to me puts the plot in different places, or it puts too much of the focus on the old trilogy or the prequel trilogy. But then again, maybe not. I mean, it's hard for me to decide on that one, because like I said, I'm all for Plagueis, and kind of seeing how if there were things that he did that kind of led to Anakin's creation, and maybe Palpatine is trying to replicate that again, and that was, you know, his project with Rey, or something to that effect, then I could kind of see it, and I'd be down with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're on the same page with that. I don't necessarily need it.
Right.
I think specifically, especially because Plagueis is kind of barely mentioned. I mean, he's mentioned in, you know, Sith, but Palpatine's such a big deal, and his connection to Vader is such a big deal. You go to Palpatine for sure. That's how you tie it up.
Right.
You know, Plagueis maybe not, unless they're going the route of you know, Rey was created same way Anakin, and that's kind of the where we're going with that. But thank you guys so much for those questions. And let's touch on this one from There Is Another. In the comics, Momin's spirit was connected to a Sith mask. Maybe Palpatine's spirit is connected to some object in the Death Star wreckage. I mean, I like that.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, the only explanation for me, if he is alive, let's just speculate here. If he is alive and he's hanging out on whatever this is, the planet, if that's Endor, or if that's the planet that Endor is the moon to, whatever, is he like Yoda now, where he's like in a dark side exile? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Could there be something going on there where he's like, no, I have to bide my time and hide away?
Yeah, could be.
It could very well be.
Maybe, and he could have been playing kind of a wait and see to see, you know, how things played out with Snoke and Kylo.
Yep.
And then, you know, Kylo decides to kind of take Snoke out of the picture, and now maybe Palpatine's like, all right, time for me to step in and finish this whole thing.
Yeah.
Could be something like that.
Could definitely be something like that. J Red coming in hot with the super chat. No question here, just wanting to support. You guys have fun.
I'm with it.
Yeah, thanks you so much.
We appreciate
that.
Big time.
By the way, guys, we just want to say, I mean, it's super cool. We're all super hyped in here. But 1,400 people watching. That is a record for us on a live stream. So thank you guys. I know we're all in here having a blast.
Yeah.
Pretty hyped up. So let's get into some other questions here. Do you think that's the second Death Star, or maybe the first? I believe it's the second.
Yeah, I think that's the second.
I believe it's the second, because if it were the first, I mean, potentially it could be the first, but the first would be like on, it would be on Yavin or something. Like the pieces would be on Yavin. And I think the way it was described in the Poe Dameron comic book was that there's this almost asteroid field that's created from the debris from the first Death Star. And also that one was like obliterated, and the second one isn't so much obliterated as it's like blown in half.
Right.
So I would say it's definitely got to be
the second one.
Yeah, the second one. And plus, it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Max Winter coming in hot with the super chat. Thank you so much. If Rey were a Palp clone, shouldn't they have been hinting that she has dark side conflict? If not, please explain. Well, I think visually they explain this a lot. And also, remember, when she has her lessons with Luke, she goes straight to the dark side.
Right.
She goes straight there. And they comment on it. They make a comment about it. Also, the reason that the Palpatine theory of Rey's parentage got so popular was actually because of the way she fights. She does a stab move that we've only ever seen Palpatine do in The Last Jedi. Now, that's, to me, not very good evidence, but to me, that just explains this idea, like where people are going with this. But what do you think about that? If she's a Palp clone, should they have maybe hinted at it a little harder? What do you think?
I don't think she's a Palp clone. If she is, though, or if they do, I think we've gotten enough to see it. And to take it back, maybe I take that back. Maybe she is a Palp clone, because we were talking about it. But in terms of them having, I don't have any problem with the hints they've dropped so far.
Right.
Because again, I feel like you said, in The Last Jedi, we got to see some kind of dark side stuff from her.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they mention in the novelization kind of that she was more aggressive with her movements, kind of with that battle with Kylo, or am I?
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, just if I'm writing prose of that scene, that's something you definitely got to touch on.
Right,
because
exactly.
she is, and it's cool. And something I've talked with subscribers a lot about is like, think about that scene is like Kylo's calm.
Yeah,
he's assessing, he's looking around,
and she was the one with the emotion.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's really cool. Their personality types are paralleled in their fighting stances and their styles. Let's see here. I want to, Jesse Isto with the 199 super chat. George Lucas Star Wars movies are so much better. And here's what I'll say to that. So we had a really cool Uber driver this morning, and he's actually a subscriber of the channel now.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. But we were talking to him about the movies, and we talked about the Disney movies, and then he talked about the George Lucas movies, and he kind of said, some people, we think, and maybe you're one of these people, Jesse, believe that the going from George to Disney, worst thing ever. When George had it, it was so much better. And what our Uber driver said was, well, you couldn't even trust George with his own stuff. And he's referring, of course, to the prequels. The prequels were maligned.
Yeah.
There were not a lot of Star Wars fans that liked the prequels. Now it's a little bit different because we can kind of get away with our unabashed love for the prequels for what they are.
Right.
You know, great story, not great movies. And so not everybody agrees with that sentiment about George. Now, I love George. He's obviously the creator. I would love to see him come back in some sort of a consulting role.
Yeah.
But, that sentiment that George Lucas Star Wars movies are so much better, I don't know if that's the correct way to say that. Is Empire the best Star Wars movie ever? Yes.
Right.
Is the original trilogy the best trilogy? Yes. But that's not the same thing. You know what I mean? You're not saying
and one thing to keep in mind, or one question that I always ask is, what would it have been like if the prequel trilogy had come out during the age of social media?
Yep.
Could you imagine the backlash? I mean, if you thought the Last Jedi backlash was bad online, imagine after Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, and the message boards, there are people that were on message boards and figuring all that out. It was pretty hot, man. It was pretty
exactly.
heated. I mean, Jake Lloyd, his life was in some ways ruined by it.
Yeah.
And so, the Star Wars fans, here's the thing. Star Wars fans, we love you guys. We are you guys. But every once in a while, we need to take a step back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take a little
True
breath.
True story.
Immortal Arts coming in hot. And do watch the Tragedy of Plagueis movie series. If they're going to do some Tragedy of Darth Plagueis, Disney Plus seems like a good idea to me.
I'm down.
Put that thing in there. Let's see here. Sean, hi. Love to support you guys. 2 weeks till Avengers. Sean.
Yes.
Woo! 2 weeks till Avengers.
Man.
We're pretty hype on that as well, obviously.
Yes, sir.
It's just a great time to be a nerd, man. Avengers right around the corner, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. We get Avengers, and then later this year in December, we're getting this episode 9 craziness.
Facts.
Subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got a $10 super chat coming in from the Goddess Divine. Thank you so much. What does this mean for Reylo? If Rey is a Palpatine, then according to the new canon of Palpatine being Anakin's father, Rey is Kylo's great aunt. # Game of Thrones. Hey, maybe. I still completely ship John and Danny. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, that's his aunt. I don't care.
Do it.
You know what I mean? So maybe, as far as what it means for Reylo, do you have any opinion on that? I don't think Palpatine is Anakin's father. They just refer to him that way because he created Anakin.
Right. Yeah, I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. It's not going to be a weird thing for me. Like I said, they don't necessarily directly address Palpatine as being his father. The whole story was that, Shmi was
correct,
basically impregnated by the Force, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so, no, and if anything, that first scene in the trailer is Reylo.
The first scene is Reylo.
That's Reylo.
It's either Reylo or brother and sister. You know what I mean?
Could be,
they
yeah.
could have the brother and sister thing.
That's true.
I just really don't buy it. I think there's been, obviously there's so much evidence to support the romantic connection that they share. Now, as I've said, and we said yesterday for our preview video, that does not necessarily mean a happy ending.
Right.
It does not necessarily mean a warm embrace. We might not get their relationship to manifest into something that's truly romantic, but I think that it's just obvious that they care about each other, that they're drawn to each other, cosmically drawn, dark side and light. You know what I mean? So I don't think the Palpatine thing ruins it at all. If anything, the Palpatine thing would just make certain fans that may not like the Rey character give all that up.
Yeah.
Check
pretty much
when it comes to Palpatine. And that's, again, why it's so brilliant to do this in the trailer. But when it comes to Palpatine, almost any fan's going to let anything slide when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As well they should. One of the greatest characters ever. So is anyone agreeing? Because it's legend that Ben Solo is actually Ben Skywalker. Maybe he'll take the name. Maybe he will take the name. I'm not...
I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I would not be mad at that at all. Let's see here. Jonas said that his son was a lot... Oh, yeah, that's the guy. Because he was playing with baby Ben? Maybe. Yeah, brother and sister makes no sense. No incest, please. Finnarock says. Yeah, no, I mean, I can agree with that. You know, I wouldn't necessarily be as mad as you, maybe, but I wouldn't mind them not doing the incest thing. I think that could be a little bit damaging.
Yeah.
Ben and Rey Skywalker. I mean, yeah, if they indeed, like, that's the thing. If he steps up to the plate, he sort of takes his role as the Skywalker, and they know now that together they can carry on the legacy of the Force. I mean, that's a good ending. You know what I mean? I would really like that.
Oh yeah.
Anyone still rooting for Rey Finn? There's a few people out there that do root for Rey Finn, and I get it. They have good chemistry together. You know what I mean? Like, but I think almost from the beginning, Rey friend zoned him.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like, he got friend zoned hard.
Yep.
And I think that was intentional, and I think that that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not hurt by that at all. And you know, Boyega was asked at one point in the panel about Rose, and he's like,
just gonna bring that up. Yeah,
That's
just
my
gonna bring
girl.
that up.
Yeah. So I think that's his girl.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, but appreciate the question. Let's see here. Was Kylo taking out the Knights of Ren? Yeah, we kind of went over that a little bit. We think that it's very possible.
Yeah.
There's an axe. There's some kind of other melee weapon. It's possible that, yeah, they're fighting the Knights of Ren there.
Very possible.
And, you know, could be a cool scene, you know, depending on if that, you know, hairy arm that's rebuilding the mask or whatever, if that's somebody not in the First Order, and there's this mission that they're on, and Kylo flips, and he's like, "No, it's over. I'm out," and basically takes his troopers that are loyal, attacks the Knights of Ren, you know, then gets out of there.
Yeah.
You could see this factional thing. I think a lot of Star Wars fans have wanted this to happen, where you have a faction of Imperial people over here, a faction of Imperial people over here. One of the coolest things is in, I believe it's in Lost Stars. Maybe it's in Lost Stars, maybe it's in a different book, but they talk about how after Palpatine died, there were several people in the Empire that basically stood up and said, "I'm the new emperor," sort of self-appointed.
Yeah.
And because their regional governors were some of these people, they had certain armies that were loyal to them. It's very similar to Rome.
Yeah.
Where you had all of these people that, like, they had their little army and their supporters, and then there was a war even between Imperial forces for who would be, you know, ascending to the throne of the Empire.
Right.
And if we get a version of that with the First Order, I am all for that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. That would be
crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Hux is Palpatine's kid? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Do you think Hayden Christensen is going to make a Force Ghost cameo? I do.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, man.
I want it.
I want it bad, man. Give me some Palpatine. Give me some Palps. Give me a little Anakin. I mean, they're scratching all my itches.
Maybe sprinkle in a little Obi-Wan.
Yeah, man. And Kit Fisto, just do it.
Yep. Let's go.
I don't need an explanation. Just Kit Fisto's back.
Do it.
Yes, that would be amazing. Thoughts on Storm Pilot? What's Storm Pilot? I don't am I missing something there? Do you think there is significance? Oh, geez, the chat. Thank you, Miller H. I appreciate that. Will Darth Vader be in the movie? We sort of just talked about that a little bit. Any stuff from Rebels you want them to bring in? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm the biggest Ezra Bridger fan like ever. Ezra is an incredible character.
Yeah.
Would love to see something like that. Ahsoka the White, perhaps. You know, there's a lot of speculation about what kind of a role Ahsoka has within the Jedi, within, you know, continuing the Force and everything. She's been to the world between worlds. She's had interactions with Vader and Palpatine.
Yep.
If Rey is on this new path and embraced what it means, it is possible she has some interaction with some of these other Force users.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you would want from Rebels?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a nod or a mention of the world between worlds itself.
Yes.
Maybe we get some kind of explanation that maybe that's sort of what Rey tapped into in Episode 8 with the multiple copies when she was trying to find out who her parents were.
Could very well be.
Something to that effect, or even perhaps they find some type of a gateway or map there, something to that effect when they hit the Death Star.
That could be. I mean, Palps was trying to get in there.
Yeah.
You know, it was something he was really trying to do. Wouldn't it be interesting if, well, we'd have to check out the timing. I don't necessarily think it would work, but that even when he was on, because from what I'm understanding of the canon, Palpatine going to the Death Star 2 was crazy. He hadn't even left Coruscant in
Right.
a long time.
Right.
And he wasn't seen publicly for a long time.
Right.
So him showing up to the Death Star 2 was a big deal. Did he show up without all of the comforts of home, including some Sith relics, some Jedi stuff, or did he pack heavy?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Is
exactly.
the question. So could be a lot of cool stuff on the Death Star. Dan Martinez says Ezra and Sabine are Rey's parents. Maybe that theory had been around for a time. I think the timing doesn't make sense.
Right.
They could be, I believe, her grandparents according to the timeline.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it could potentially work if they had the child really old, because we now know that they do survive into. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very possible. I don't know. I don't know about that one. It would be cool, but I'm not ready to give it my seal of approval.
I'm still going with they're going to keep her parents as nobody.
Yeah, I don't think her parents are super irrelevant unless they have something to do with Palpatine or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think her parents are very relevant. I do think perhaps, though, if Kylo lied to her about them, that's relevant.
True.
You don't necessarily need to know, but you can know that it wasn't nobody.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. General Grievous is going to be rebuilt and come back. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Let's just go. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Just get Grievous in there. I mean, he did have some cool lines.
Yeah, he did.
And that wicked cough, man. You know, do you guys know in canon he did that to himself?
Wow.
Yeah, he did that to himself. He was trying to get more powerful and try to be a better soldier.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah, he went a little too hard on
Yeah,
that.
buddy.
Maybe somebody should have talked him down. Will we see Anakin? Yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit. We do think that we could see Anakin. We got Kenneth Cologne in the chat, even though he's over on the couch over there.
Shout out to Ken.
Yeah, man. Obi-Wan. Why not? Why not get some Obi-Wan in there? Hello there. Maybe that's what they'll pop up into the Death Star at the very end of the film. And Obi-Wan
Hello
comes out,
there.
Hello there. Roll credits. End of the Skywalker saga. The explosion as Palp fell down the shaft was him making a force shield. Or making some kind of like Horcrux. You know what I mean? Bonding himself to something.
Yeah.
Or keeping his spirit there. Could be very, very possible. Josh, announce a time and place to meet you in person at the convention. We want to say hello in person. We love your show. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I mean, we're going back to the thing tonight, but maybe tomorrow we will do a little thing where we meet up with people or something.
I'm down.
Yeah, let us know on social media if you're interested in that. And honestly, like, we can do a quick like photo thing. If you want to just hit us up, we can meet you somewhere on the floor and do a photo thing. If we want to get more people together, we could do that too. But yeah, hit us up on social about that if you would be so kind.
Oh, yeah. And shout out to Yova Roz. I saw you over there. What's going on?
What's going on, Yova? Let's see here. Kanga Jenga, I love that name. I think that Palpatine had a secret plan, maybe with Snoke, to create life from the Force. And that's how both Anakin and Rey came into being. That's kind of
right.
That's kind of my
Exactly.
theory. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I think might be going on there. So definitely. Melissa C. Ahsoka movie one day. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I'm with it. I want to see more Ahsoka. I want to see all the Ahsoka that Dave Filoni wants to give me.
True.
I am a Ahsoka nut. Like and it's funny because I wasn't really into Clone Wars at the beginning, and then I kind of rediscovered it later on and just became all about Ahsoka. So if they want to, and I mean Disney Plus, we have the avenue.
We got
for
it.
now.
Why not a
Don't even do a movie.
miniseries?
Yeah, exactly. Give me a
Yeah, man.
miniseries
Give me
or a
6
TV.
movies
Yes.
back to back.
Do
Pretty
it.
Cress Fresh 99 coming in with the super chat. Just joining. Sorry if this was covered earlier. Any thoughts on Rey being one of Palpatine's leftover clones? Not him directly, but remnants of his work. Absolutely. That is something we are I think all of us are thinking.
Yeah.
I think the conversation, and what's really cool about the trailer and what they're doing here is we're having the good conversations now.
Right.
They've shifted it back to the good conversations.
Right.
Now, I know people like Pablo Hidalgo and other people in 2015 and 2014, they were getting upset about Snoke theories and all this other craziness.
Yeah.
I think they now know there's an even darker side that can be going on. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Where people are literally taking shots every day at this brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just way better to have people having conversations like this
Mm-hmm.
about Rey being one of Palpatine's leftovers. Put the brain on that path,
Right.
not on the upset path. So I'm very happy with the fact that you even asked this question because I think it's something a lot of people are talking about. Yes, I personally believe that Rey is connected to Palpatine somehow. That Palpatine's plans, either creating Anakin or creating other clones or something, have manifested itself into what Rey is. I mean, the observatory on Jakku. I mean, on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other comments on that? I know we've talked about it a little bit already, but
yeah, I think it's again going to definitely kind of tie into that to some degree. I'm not necessarily on board completely with her being a clone of Palpatine. I can certainly see it. I would like to see more of it being a manipulation of the Skywalker bloodline.
right.
And not necessarily a clone of Palpatine himself, but maybe something that Palpatine was trying to do. It was his first successful attempt at creating an actual life from, and maybe she didn't have the same parentage necessarily as, for instance, like Shmi being Anakin's biological mother. Maybe she didn't have a biological mother. Maybe she was actually the first total clone.
Could definitely be. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you could do me a big favor, smash that like button.
Smash it.
You are pumped about Star Wars Episode 9. Let's talk about the title for a second. I just want to know what you think about the title.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying it's sort of weak. What do you think? You like the title?
I like this title. I know a couple of weeks ago there were some rumors that it was just going to be Skywalkers for the title of Episode 9, which I was not feeling at all.
No, me neither.
And at that point, I had made a comment to the effect of, I don't want Skywalker to be anywhere in the title. But after seeing the trailer and then seeing the title, The Rise of Skywalker, it fits.
It does fit.
I think it's an appropriate title for the close of the saga.
Yep.
And I think JJ realizes what beats he needs to hit.
Yeah, agreed.
And it fits. It really does fit.
Agreed. What's up, girls with sabers? Welcome to the party.
Girls with sabers, what's good?
We're going about 10 more minutes. You came in a little late, but we still love you. I love the title.
Yes.
I've been back and forth on it a little bit. Rise of Skywalker is just so cool. It's mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
It ties into obviously the Skywalkers, everything we really care about, everything we really like. Could refer to Luke, Anakin, or Ben, or Rey.
Yeah.
Outside chance it refers to Rey as well. I really like the title, and I don't think it gives much away. So
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, we're on board with that.
What a time to be alive indeed, girls with sabers.
9 more minutes. Get your questions in, and we'll be going live again tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is the Fallen Order.
Yes.
Or is that Sunday?
No, I think that's tomorrow.
Okay, Mandalorian might be Sunday.
I think Mandalorian's Sunday. But
we got big things to talk about tomorrow.
Cannot wait for Fallen Order.
And on Sunday as well. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hype, guys. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the likes, do all those things, do all those YouTube-y things, if you wouldn't mind. Miller H coming in with a super chat. Will there be another trilogy, or is this the end? Well, Bob Iger just had that meeting yesterday,
right?
Talking about how they're going to spend some time.
Yeah.
But we already know there's going to be at least another trilogy with Dan and Dave, which is all but confirmed to be the Old Republic. It's pretty much confirmed. It's the Old Republic.
Right.
So the continuation of this saga might wait 5 to 8 years. And I'm completely okay with that.
Same.
Personally.
Same.
So I'm good with that. Take your time. Maybe I really hope they close this out. I do want the Force Child, selfishly, because I came up with that theory.
There you go.
But I wouldn't even be mad if they don't do Force Child if it's completely disconnected when we pick up later, where something like, Kylo, Luke, Palpatine, all these characters are legends, like myth,
right.
Way old, like myth type stuff, and whatever's going on in the present is totally different.
Right.
Let's see here. Cress Fresh 99 coming in with a super chat again. Manipulation of the bloodline could somewhat resolve / explain the whole midichlorian thing. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think that it'll make the midichlorian thing sit a little bit better with people. Hey, chat, let's have a little bit of fun. Let me know in chat, over or under a 70% that JJ has the word Mandalorians in episode, midichlorians. Is the word midichlorians going to be uttered in episode 9 over under 70%?
I'm going to say over.
So you think it's coming?
I think I'll attach a caveat. If Rey is a clone,
right.
If she's some sort of clone,
right.
We're getting the word midichlorians.
Yeah.
I think so.
I just think I see that we got some overs, a lot of overs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's
under, a few under. Yeah. Cool. Man, I personally actually am going to go under only because I know JJ really dislikes the prequels.
Okay.
So he really dislikes the prequels. He dislikes that whole science fiction thing. But again, you're right. If we start going down that route,
Right.
we might have to.
And I mean, I don't necessarily think it has to be this in-depth explanation or analysis of it.
Right.
But just to say that those were being just a reference to them being manipulated at all.
Sure.
If she's a clone and she's a clone of the Skywalker bloodline, then they're going to end up using that word, I think, to kind of explain where her power comes from.
Yeah.
And why it's so why it seems so amplified.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I mean, who knows? I think that you're right. If they go that route, just because of the technicalities, they might drop it. You know what I mean? Just for some context.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think what George was looking for there was a easy visual idea to quantify your force ability.
Right.
You know, it just makes
they just hammered it home too much.
Yeah.
I think they leaned on it a little too much.
They maybe didn't have to explain
Right.
that it's microbacteria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could just have said like, "No, it's your force cells or something."
Yeah,
you
something.
know what I mean? Like his force cell count's so high. You know,
Right.
there's a couple of different ways that they could have done that. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. I want to say thank you again for hanging out here.
Yes.
We're having a blast. It looks like there's a lot of happy, excited Star Wars fans out there.
I'd say so.
I'm pumped about that. Very, very pumped about that. Let's see here. I think Kylo turns good. We kind of think so too. Power level over 9,000. Yeah, they could have had Scouters. Maybe that would have been better. Scouters over midichlorians. That's the next T-shirt for the Den of Nerds. Predictions for who lives and who dies. What do you think? Who do you think's going out?
Well, I definitely think Kylo's going bye-bye.
Okay.
I think that they're going to, if Kylo is going to be redeemed, which I feel like this teaser gives us a heavy implication that we're going to see Kylo redeemed to a degree.
Yeah.
He's not going to make it. I think we're going to be saying bye-bye to Ben.
Yeah, I think we might be saying bye-bye to Ben as well. I think Leia dies.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of that's kind of
Yeah.
tricked you guys. But yeah, she's going to go out. Maybe Kylo. Hopefully nobody else main cast. I mean, definitely not OGs. Leave Lando alone, for God's sake.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Does Lando leave with the Falcon?
I would really like that.
I would too.
I would really like that.
I know there were some rumors about the Falcon that's
Blowing up. Yeah.
I'd rather see him take
Yeah.
it and just say, you know what, this was mine.
Park it outside of Cloud City. Like, you know,
There
what I
you
mean?
go.
That's the spot for it.
Yeah.
I agree. And Ray don't need all that.
No.
Okay. Non-Mirage Truth Vision. Did Kennedy get booed at the event in Chicago today? No, she didn't. And in fact, the crowd overwhelmingly not only seemed positive on The Last Jedi, they cheered when JJ spoke of Ryan and certain things like that. But, you know, the Kelly Marie Tran thing, which honestly, I thought was awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to
because,
bring
like,
that up just now.
You know, I've always tried to be real with you guys. Like, I don't like the Rose character, period. I don't. But what happened to Kelly is unacceptable.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
unacceptable. And it was cool to see so much love
and support,
given to her.
And it was, her reception to it was so genuine.
Yeah, it was really
it was a really amazing moment right then to see, again, when you, because I'm with Josh. I really didn't feel her character that much in The Last Jedi. I thought it was kind of cheesy, but I thought she executed the character to the best of her ability.
Yeah, she did.
And some of the backlash that she got, I thought was kind of ridiculous. And to the point where, you know, it's affecting your mental health.
Yeah.
When you're attacking somebody to that level, just to see her
React
back
that
in
way.
that back in that moment with that warmth, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, man. And I think that, like, ultimately, and we're going to do more coverage like this. We're going to go talk to more people on the floor just about how they feel about Star Wars, how they feel about The Last Jedi. Are they excited for 9? Because I do want to get an honest metric for what's going on in the fans.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to skew anything. If 90% of the people say they hated The Last Jedi, we're going to report that.
Exactly.
I want to let you guys know. But at the same time, it's really hard to parse what is internet real and what's real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because yes, there are people upset about The Last Jedi. I know a lot of reasonable people that are very upset with Star Wars right now. And then there are a lot of buttholes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of buttholes. So it's sort of hard to parse. But no, she didn't get booed. Everything was super positive. Girls with Sabers, smash that like button, guys. Over 1,800 watching. Yeah, if you guys could smash the like button, that would be great. Girls with Saber, by the way, does great content. Highly recommend you check out.
Go check them out.
And then we missed Did we miss a $5 super chat? I feel like we did. Yeah, there's a. Okay, yes. Say when. Love it, dude. I'll be your Huckleberry. How can Kylo be redeemed?
Movie.
Killed Han, tempted to kill Leia, tried to kill Luke, killed a village. He has his own victim ashtray for apparatus storage. Okay, so super easy. This is an easy question. This is a softball.
Yeah.
Number one, Snoke. Snoke is a huge part of that formula. You're talking about a dude who, before he was even born, was being manipulated by this dark side user, almost like a It's almost like he had a parasite his whole life. On top of that, his parents suck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Han. I love Leia. They're shitty parents.
Pretty much.
Like, Han left. He was like doing his thing, doing shipment stuff, that, and the other thing. Leia buried herself in politics. Both the parents are workaholics. They weren't there. They shipped him off to Uncle Luke, who didn't even want to train Jedi, wasn't even feeling it. So the parents suck. You combine that with the fact that he's obviously emotionally unstable. He's got all of this power.
Right.
That's sort of where I think it comes from. You gotta feel for this guy a little bit. You know what I mean? He's not this ruthless dude. His actions are terrible. His actions are irredeemable.
I mean, and if you think about it, if everyone is in agreement that at the end of Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader was redeemed, the man slaughtered younglings. He walked into the Jedi Academy and killed a bunch of kids.
Yeah, he slaughtered
and got
younglings,
redeemed. So there's the precedent for you.
So I just saw something interesting in the chat. They said on Star Wars Theory video, it said that everybody booed Kathy. Here's the thing. We weren't in any of the stage rooms. So we were on the main celebration floor. Where we were at, it was positive. Very, very positive. There were some chuckles when JJ did the Freudian slip and said that Kathy Kennedy was evil. That's kind of funny. But there was a lot of positivity. That is not to say that maybe in other panel rooms there
could have been boos.
Yeah, there definitely could have been. Now, I think it would be hard to tell either way because they drowned that out with loud Star Wars music when her and JJ were coming out. So, I'm just telling you from our perspective what we saw. But I'll check out Star Wars Theory and see what he said about it too. If Reylo don't team up, do we see light dark flip? Okay, so if you're saying that Kylo would go light and Rey would go dark.
Whoa.
Be really cool.
Whoa.
I mean, generally that would be
something to think about.
Dope. Yeah. I mean, Ben now, and then she realized she's a Palpatine. She goes dark side. Now she's running things. Be cool.
Man.
But doesn't necessarily feel like a good ending to the Skywalker saga.
No, I don't think so. I mean, even if he were to subdue her at the end of that, it still would be like, well, that was kind of unexpected, but not in a good way. At least for me, I would be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We didn't have. I feel like you don't want to have that type of a revelation on the last movie in the trilogy.
Yeah.
That's a turn that you probably would have wanted to see in the middle of the movie.
Agree. Okay, let's do Jack Random's question. This will be the last question we're going to go over today, but we'll be chatting again real soon. We do a ton of live chats here on the channel as well. So if you want to ask more questions, just come back to a different live chat. We appreciate all the support. So Jack Random asks, make Rey Palpatine's daughter. He influences her to go dark. Luke haunts Kylo. Kylo rises would be awesome, but nah. I think it would be awesome.
It would.
I like that. It's not a bad way to take it. But yeah, it's just, especially when you're getting this hiatus when Bob Iger says we're taking some time away.
Right.
We're not going to be doing Star Wars right away after this. I don't think that's a cliffhanger you want to leave people on.
No, I agree.
So, I mean, we'd love it. I want Rey to be Palpatine's something, and I want her to have the affinity for the dark side. I do. I think it would be great for her character. But yeah, we're probably not going to get something that plays out that way. But thank you, Jack Random, for the question, the scenario, the super chat. You guys are amazing. All right, guys. So we are going to call it there, guys. This was literally the biggest live stream we've ever done here on the channel. If you can stand our faces and the things that coming out of our mouth parts, consider subscribing.
Please
we do a lot of content. Most of the stuff's rolling around Avengers right now.
Yeah.
Because we're super hype on Endgame. And then once Endgame rolls down, we're going to be focusing a lot more on Star Wars towards the end of the year. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for all the love. We'll be seeing you real soon. Tomorrow,
we appreciate you.
Another live chat tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.
Peace.